All right, let's start this over. There's some cats fighting in the woods behind me. That was kind of loud. All right, so this is an update video on the bed. You can kind of see it a little bit. I didn't end up using the metal that I had left over. I cut so much out of the bed to, get the fuel tank to fit and the fuel neck. Before I cut the fuel filler neck down shorter, I cut a lot of the bed out, and a lot of the bed was rotten. If you look on the left side of this piece, this big piece right here, that's a good piece. So a lot of these little flat pieces in the bed were rotten. The stuff up by the cab is okay. The stuff back here by the tailgate is okay. It's not perfect, but it's decent. They just had a few spots kind of close to the fenders on the front that were kind of rotten. But yeah, I pretty much decided to do wood. So you can see here, it's 1x6 decking with a it's like a cherry, I think it's a cherry stain. I mean, it's close enough. I mean, not here, I'll tell you what, it's gonna be a long video anyway, so, and I don't edit because I film with the phone. But this is what I use right here. It's redwood natural tone, and it's semi-transparent, so it's not super shiny, but it's not super dull. It's, I guess the solid is the stuff that you use when you don't, it's pretty much like paint. But so yeah, I did this Tuesday. It's got a board here, a board here, it goes all the way across, of course, and then it's got some like 4-inch self-tapper, like 10mm bolts that go in like a 45-degree angle. They go into the little step ledge thing that's in here on the side. So it's really sturdy. The middle, so past videos, there's a little pocket right here. There's like a little wall. So like if somebody bought this truck and wanted to use it for, like, have a place to store things, you could probably cut across here and then make a hinge or whatever to put stuff in here, because that wall and everything is still there, that pocket's still there. So you can put luggage back there or whatever, and just hide it on a trip if you wanted to. I didn't do that because the plan is to sell this thing and hold on to the money. We're moving, probably moving to Florida next year, so that's a 900-mile trip. I'm not taking this with me, so I'll probably move down there and get me another truck, find me another car if I can, because they're getting super expensive now, because I guess everybody's figuring that out, so now Crown Vics and F1s are even more expensive than they were. But anyways, so the front, that's the brace of the front. It bolts into the sides, the side pockets. Right here is where that bar that held the wall was. I had to cut it here and lean the wall back some and then re-weld it to the fenders, because it was sticking up too high right here for the, it was going to have it like an inch higher. So I cut that, moved it, re-welded it, so it's still there. And then the top of this board in the middle, like it's right here where that sheet was, that metal sheet. So there's a 16 gauge plate, you see it right there. It goes up and over the middle right here. In the middle right here, these boards, all right, so where that little wall was, the edge of the floor, like the little ribs like this, was sticking up a little bit in the middle. So I smoothed that out flush with that bar, so now it's completely flat. When I screwed these boards down, so this one in the rear, you can see it's flat. It's not, there's no arches or anything like that. It just so happened that when I did that, that bar that ran across for this little wall was about yay high still, but you can't tell. So when I screwed that front piece down to the side, the bed sides and the boards to the 2x4, it put tension in the middle, so it's solid right in the middle. Then when I screwed this end down, it was super solid. The only problem was towards the end, and I'll get you a better look at it the way it is now, so I can, I kind of explain it. That's pretty flat. It's pretty smooth right there. You know what I mean? That line is pretty straight. Before, it was all lopsided and the boards were kind of doing whatever they wanted to do. They had a mind of their own. So what I did was I got back here and some of the excess boards that I cut off, so what I did was I ran them across, of course, screwed into every single board from the bottom so there's no holes on the top. And then here I went through on the bottom on this one and the bottom on this one to connect these two. Because if I would have done one here and one there, these boards still would have been wiggling. So to connect them, I just did that. And then I did that all the way down, so on and so forth. Even there, it's got a screw in that little spot right there, all the way down. And they're not braced with anything. They do go under, they are notched to go behind here. You know what I mean? So they're, I don't know if that would do anything, but I just felt better doing it that way. It does not move at all, and it flattened the floor out. What I'm probably going to do, because I don't want to put a 2x4 under here because it'll look tacky, I'm going to get some angle iron, I think, and then cut a piece that's this length, put it up underneath here, and then tack it, weld it in right here for like a little ledge, maybe tap it and put like another screw through it to fasten it, and that way you won't have to worry about it moving at all ever. So, and I did stain, I got to touch up some of the stain on the bottom. It is stained, but it's just not, I didn't do multiple coats on the bottom of these boards on the end. And then that 2x4 needs a little stain right there in the middle. I did rub them down. I mean, it's not going to look solid because I didn't do multiple smooth coats on them, but I did do multiples. I probably did 1.5. So the front board's great. The rear board right here on the back, I kind of missed some spots. It is stained. It's just some spots are darker than others. So I'm going to go underneath here and I'm going to do another coat on all this down here, because you have to do them top and bottom. These boards, I don't know if you can see between them or not, but all of the boards are top and bottom. I didn't just do the top, I didn't half-ass it. 2 coats on the bottom, 3 coats on the top. I did sand it beforehand. I may sand it and do another coat on top again. But I mean, the color looks good, it looks solid, the floor is solid. I've stood up on this thing. I wouldn't stand up on it now because it's pretty, I don't really get footprints all over it, but I did stand on it to make sure. And like I said, that 16 gauge plate over the fuel tank is welded in right here, so there's even more stability right in the middle. So like I said, it's pretty stout. I drove it down the road the other day just to make sure, because I wasn't sure, when you do these trucks, you lose like 400 pounds worth of weight. So like compared to the car, if the car weighs 4,200, the truck probably weighs 38, or whatever it is, 3850. So I was wondering, I was like, okay, well, now that this wood's back here, it's got to bring that weight back up. So I figured that it might be a little bouncy in the rear, or it might, not handle the same. You can't tell a difference. I couldn't anyway. But so yeah, I went all the way under the pockets on this side. It touches, but the way the dimensions were, there's a little gap there. But I mean, unless you set some really small stuff rolling around back here, which I don't imagine anybody would, you don't have to worry about it falling under the bed. And let's see what else. So I may do something with this. So if you see that right there, right, and then this the little vent tube here, you can see how thin this board is. I cut from the side so that I wouldn't have a big hole. I'm not filming very well. Big hole right here. I didn't want a hole right there for that tube, so I cut it sideways and just left a thin piece on top to cover that up with. And then the way this is notched out is for the filler neck right there. And I did stain inside the holes and all that stuff too. All that's in there is stained. I could have done this a little bit better. I could have brought it in, maybe made it a little smoother right here, but at the time I just didn't figure it would fit very well. See all the sides of it or whatever. So I mean, it's in there. The reason I kind of had to do the bed like this, well, I didn't have to, but like I said before, it's just there was so much metal that it just looks better this way. Everything is sturdy under there. Everything is good, and it's welded together. It's good to go. But this looks way better. You know, even if I would have filled the whole bed in and rhino lined it and all that stuff, to me this looks way better. And you know, like I said, if you wanted to make that pocket right there, you could. I mean, that pocket's still there. That wall and that floor is still there. So you could put a door in here, like almost like a toolbox, that hinged up, and legit put luggage back there or groceries or whatever, and you could lock it. So oh, and I've got, okay, so I did do the door panels a little bit. That's only one small coat. I mean, it might not even be a whole coat. I think it was just residue because I was just trying to see what it was going to look like. I may do another couple of coats, see what it looks like after that. I need to fill this speaker pod in with foam, or not foam, but like get a pillow, tear a pillow open, put the stuffing inside there because they're hollow right now. That'll make it sound way better. Probably either try to build something as far as the door, like an armrest goes, or just buy a factory armrest, put it back on there. I'm gonna have to get those pockets anyway to fill this up because I mean, if you look, it's not 100% square. So I'd planned on just putting those pockets in anyway, those little plastic pockets that go in here. So I wasn't that worried about that part of it. Originally I was gonna wrap the door panel the same color as the seat, but I don't know yet. We'll just have to see. I'm kind of digging the wood look, but I gotta figure out something with an armrest and stuff. But I mean, that's not really a big deal. Again, carpet, I'm not worried about carpet. If I do sell the truck, that'll just be something that the next person will have to deal with. It's not a big deal. New carpet's like $140 for the car, so front and rear seats, so you'd have extra. So I mean, 140 bucks, take the seats out, put the carpet in, cut it behind the seats, you're good to go. It's not really a big deal. I just don't care, you know, really. I really don't care. Doesn't bother me. I did get another seal. See, this door seal here is from the trunk seal of the Vic. So I got another one from the junkyard the other day to go on the passenger side door because it doesn't have a full seal. This seal is thicker than the one that came off of it. The truck seal pretty much came apart, but it's pretty thick. This, I mean, you have to kind of slam the door. I mean, and you hear it's solid. So I'll put that other seal in and get that done this weekend. I do have another mirror. I just haven't put it on. The truck mirrors that were on here, those big, tall, square ones. The glass in them was yellow, so I got rid of those. Gave them to, I think I gave them to Ivan. But I've got the other mirror. I just haven't put it on. I hadn't really worried about it. I mean, I don't really need it. I also have one of those round convex, is it convex? Yeah, convex mirrors that you can mount up here. I never put it on. And I think that's it pretty much for now. That's pretty much it. I mean, this is dirty right now. I got to clean it up, but went to a bonfire the other day and it's a dirt road. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The truck probably will be for sale soon. I'm gonna just save the money, and then hopefully I can find another truck and another car to build when I get to Florida, when we move next year. That's the plan anyway. That's why I'm not taking this with me. I really don't want to sell it, but I mean, it just doesn't make sense to try to drag this thing 900 miles down to Florida and then try to find a place to put it, because we're going to be in an apartment for probably the first year while we build a house. It's just not going to make sense. So I'll just have to find me another one and build me another one when I get down there. Hopefully I can find one that I can afford, because these trucks are not cheap now. So I think I found one with a motor, well, without a motor and trans, a long bed yesterday for like $3,500, and that's ridiculous. So prices are just going up. Even the Crown Vics are going up. So hopefully I can afford to build another one when I get down there. I'm sure I'll find something. This might take a little while, But that's it, man. I mean, any of you guys have any questions about anything, just holler at me. Like I said, it will be for sale soon. I'll put it on the F100 frame swap or frame swap faction. I'll put it on that Facebook page when I do. That'll be the first place I put it. And probably within a few days after that, it'll be on Marketplace. So I'll give the F100 guys the first shot at it, and then I'll throw it up on Marketplace. You know, maybe a few days or maybe a week after, for like locals to be able to come check it out. So, all right, guys, y'all have a good Thursday. That's it for this video, and I'll talk to you guys later.